Swamp Thing living in my swamp today. I'm cold and damp now.
Welcome back to the Scare Value Podcast. Pete, we have a special guest today.
Who? What? Why are we laughing? Who's
me.
our special guest? I'm in my basement. Kitty?
Yes.
Is that you?
Yes.
Hi, Kitty. Where are you?
Special. You're grumpy.
You're special. I'm in the basement. Well, I spent 2 hours trying to turn this computer on.
Yeah, you should have spent maybe an hour. It was not worth it.
No technology is worth it. I hate these modern times. I wish things were simpler.
Are you using your earbuds or are you just using the sound from the phone?
Am I using? Hey, guess what, guys? We didn't turn off the air conditioner. I just heard it kick on.
I can't hear it, so it's probably fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
You know what else is fine?
What?
We're waiting for you. You can't pose a question.
I was expecting answers from anybody.
I was expecting Nick Cage to be the answer.
That band that's saying "Closer to Fine." That's what's fine.
First of all, it's closer to free.
No, it's Closer to Fine from Party of Fine, the TV show.
Party of Fine.
I don't know what you two are talking about.
I believe it's the Bodines.
Bodines.
There's useless knowledge in my head for no reason whatsoever.
It's not useless because you just used it.
I don't know that there's anything more useless than knowing the name of the band that's saying Closer to Free for Party of Five. Your phone gives a really good picture.
Mm-hmm. You look pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, which one of us is on the phone? But your phone camera is really nice.
You're all on my phone.
Ah, Jesus Christ. All right. Kitty, before we get started talking about what we're going to talk about today, do you have any movies that sound like poops?
Oh, I did not come up with that.
You didn't want to be a part of that?
No, I wanted to. And someday I will give you a list of movies that sound like poops.
But Ken and Brian's list was too exhaustive, and you're like, I give up.
Yeah, it was intimidating.
That's true, because I thought of one.
It was so intimidating, I thought of taking a picture and sending it to Pete.
I really would ask that you guys do not send me pictures of your poop.
We haven't.
I don't want any pictures of poop. I know, but I feel like it's coming.
I could have just taken a picture like an hour ago and sent it to you.
Our foreign correspondent is not threatening me with pictures. It doesn't seem like a threat when he says it, but it's a threat. He's offering it like some sort of gift. Like, hey, guess what? I'm like, no.
Pete now lives in a world where he's under constant threat of receiving poop pics. Every ding is like, is this the one?
Is this the text message?
You know, of all the things I go on about, crows, fireworks, Nicolas Cage, why poop is what I get sent by people is fascinating.
Nobody has sent you poop.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? You don't know what's in my DMs, Kitty.
You don't know what DMs are.
Yeah? I assume they're very close to DMs, which are bowel movements. I assume it's poop related.
Pete, you're funnier on the phone. It's pretty great.
This is frustration at technology.
I think it's you're just like letting go of all the tension and saying anything and everything that comes to your mind. This is complete Pete's stream of consciousness.
It's not. What? Anyway, why did you guys make me set up a computer? Why am I here?
You didn't set up a computer. You're on your phone.
Man, I failed already. Great start. Also, I just spilled coffee all over the laptop. Luckily, I don't think we need this laptop anymore.
Oh, maybe it'll fix it.
We might just throw it in the trash, yeah. That might fix it.
Mm-hmm. That's science.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get going on today's topic, I did see A Quiet Place Day 1, and because Lupita Nyong'o is so great, it was shockingly good.
Really? Did she die? Because she has to. I didn't see her in part.
I'm not going to spoil A Quiet Place Day 1 that came out 3 days ago on the podcast.
But who knows when people are going to listen to this? First off, no one's listening to this. Second off, it's going to be a long ways in the future before anyone hears this. And at that point, I think all spoiler rules will go. In fact, I'm going to tell all the spoilers I can think of. Rosebud is a sled. Citizen Kane is some guy.
Oh, you can cut him out so I could start talking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Luke Skywalker's dad is Darth Vader.
Do you want to know why this prequel was so good?
Why?
Well, I would direct you to scarevalue.com where you can read a perfectly written review of the movie A Quiet Place
Hey,
2.
you remembered to plug yourself.
And I got booed.
Yeah.
I got booed for it. No, it was just, it was more of a full story than either of the other two were. It put in New York City was a great choice because it's the loudest city in the world and there's millions of people. And trying to stay quiet is very difficult when you're trying to walk down a street with thousands of people to get out. It was a pretty fun movie, but more importantly, there was like a really strong dramatic through line with Lupita Nyong'o's character, because when you meet her, she's a cancer patient in hospice care, so she doesn't have long anyway.
So she does die.
And this is a movie, I can't tell you that, and it's also, it wouldn't be what you think. And yeah, you think she defeats all the monsters and then just dies of cancer?
I mean,
except for those few that live in upstate New York.
It's a movie that was surprisingly deep and emotional about going out on your own terms. It was pretty great, and like how you'd want to spend your last days when the world's ending. I was stunned how good it was.
Was it running and hiding and being quiet?
There was enough of that if people want the creature stuff, and there's a couple really big set pieces, including one where like literally thousands of people are walking down the street trying not to make noise, which is pretty great, because just the shuffling of 1,000 feet is going to make noise.
Yeah.
So you get some good carnage. And there was a really good cat and mouse game in the subway.
But wouldn't like that work as like ambient noise too?
Yeah,
Just like
I thought so too. But it just takes one person like doing kind of anything.
Knocking over a trash can or something. Yeah, all right, fine.
And you're not going to keep people from screaming when something terrible is happening next to them. It was pretty good.
I would quietly sit down and wait till everybody stops screaming.
Yeah, that's what you should do.
I'm never watching those stupid movies.
I thought this was better than the other two. And Lupita Nyong'o was so good in it.
Is it its own story, so I don't have to worry about the idiot kids, or are they back?
It's a prequel without those characters.
Nice. Okay, maybe I'll watch it then.
Well, we've had
that whole family deserved to die.
We've had pretty good prequels, including Prey, the prequel to Predator that was really good.
Ooh, that starts with a PR. I get it. Prey, prequel.
And
Predator, prequel.
And Pearl.
Pearl. I can't do it. Pearl. I tried to add a PR for you.
Pearl.
Prequel.
You'd both seen X when it came out.
Yes.
But you just saw Pearl for the first time.
Yes.
Allegedly, I saw X before. Allegedly. I had to watch it again. I didn't remember any of it.
Well,
it was a good slasher. I liked it.
It's a good 70s style slasher.
Yeah.
Where the whole thing was that being old is creepy and scary.
It's true.
And gross.
Well, at least for those people. They didn't grow old gracefully. Like disasters.
No. I don't know. What am I supposed to think about these movies? I don't know what to think. I watched them both. I watched the last one last night. So they're all fresh in my head, and I don't have an opinion on them. They were there. That is what I think.
You have bad taste.
Okay. Kitty, what'd you think of Pearl?
I loved Pearl. It was way better than X.
I loved Pearl so much.
It was a good movie. It was a great build-up to see. And then, when you compare it with X is a good movie too, because it's got that Pearl has aged and, she had her dreams, and you could see kind of how she got to where she was. It
really deepened the understanding of the character in a great way, because it doesn't give you sympathy. It gives you sympathy for her, but it still is like, but she's a fucking monster. So it walks the line perfectly.
Yeah.
I do understand, like, she never got out. Her dreams never got true. She never got out of that house. And I get all that, but at the same time, she's murdering people back then. So it's like, oh, she's always been a horrible person.
Not right in the head.
Yeah, and then at the end, when her husband finally comes home, and I'm pretty sure her husband stays with her. It's the same guy.
That's the same guy.
Yeah.
Of course. Kitty had to look it up. I asked her.
Yeah. He's just, he's like, this seems fine.
And then it ends with the long, creepy smile on her face.
Yeah.
Mia Goth was so good.
Mm-hmm.
In Pearl.
You had mentioned that to me. You mentioned that to me, that she was great. And I kind of liked X. I dug the humor that was in there, but I don't know. I don't know what to think of it. It makes a lot more sense having watched Pearl, because you get the backstory. I don't know. he really does a good job with style too, right? Like it's very much
Oh yeah, it was what
well,
1950s with those saturated colors.
1918 because they had the World War One or the pandemic happening in 1918, the
No,
influenza
I'm
one.
talking about we were talking about film style, so I'm saying it was like a 1950s film style with the saturation of color.
Oh, I see. Not
Yeah,
set in that.
I think he was kind of going for Wizard of Oz,
yeah, that's
which
what
is
it
the
looked like.
30s.
That was the 30s. Okay,
39.
So maybe,
I mean, she literally fucks a scarecrow just like Dorothy.
yeah,
That's what happened. I was
there.
waiting for the lion, but it never came.
No.
That would have been.
By the way, that projector, the guy that runs the projector, is the next Superman, Daniel Cornsweat. You asked me who he was? There he was.
Corn sweat?
Corn Sweat.
Corn sweat. I see.
Corn sweat, yeah.
Corn Sweat.
Corn
He's
sweat.
one of those children of the corn sweats.
We all drag it out
Heard
longer.
about?
Corn Sweat.
Corn
sweat.
sweat.
Oh, you did it.
Weird way to say corn, man.
It's a weird way to say Corn Sweat. Yeah, Pearl blew me away.
Yeah.
Mostly because of Mia Goth's performance. She's so fucking good in that movie.
Yeah, the first half was long. The first half was very long. All the setup for me. I'm glad we took a break because I got sleepy and had to stop. So then when I came back for the second hour, I was like, yeah, it got good.
I could have watched it all the way through. And Pete's like, you can finish watching it without me. And I'm like, I'm not going to watch a horror movie without you. So I just...
I enjoy that he made a slasher movie and the prequel is a psychological thriller kind of.
Yeah.
It's
like watching someone completely who already is not all there just completely lose their mind.
I think she was insane from the very beginning.
Yes.
I don't think that any point, I assumed based on her character in X that she was this poor traumatized farm girl who had just lived there and gone slowly insane as she got older and older and older. And then I watched Pearl, and you go, oh no, she was just batshit crazy right out of the gate. Everyone knew it. Her evil mom, you think that she's the bad guy, and the mom's like, oh no, I have to keep you here. You're not right.
Yeah, there's that, but the mom wasn't great either.
The mom was very emotionally abusive.
Yeah.
So
that I agree. But Pearl also not right in the head.
And that father not helping out at all.
No, and she kept getting naked in front of him. That was weird.
Everything about her was weird, and I really enjoyed how that movie ended with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre like table set up with the dead family at dinner.
Yeah.
Hey, I missed it. Why was there a rotting pig on the front porch for the whole movie?
Because Mitzi's mother brought it over, and Pearl's mother wanted nothing to do with their charity, so they just left it there the entire time.
Yeah, because Mitzi's family and Pearl's husband's family, they're well-to-do. So, they were trying to help out. And then, the mom just left the pig. I'm like, I would just throw it to the alligator. But that's me.
He's figuring it out, I think. It took Pearl a while to figure out.
I enjoyed that X gave us the alligator kill, and then Pearl was like, we're going to tease it with the father at the...
Oh, yeah.
It did show the gator a lot, too. That was fun.
It's a different gator. Gators don't live 60 years, right? I'm pretty sure that's right.
No, they live like for 1 billion years. They're one of them things.
Ben Grimm's?
Yeah, they're one of them Ben Grimm's. They don't age once they turn rocky.
Kitty was telling me, because she got Ben Grimmed by the best of them right before this podcast started, and she was telling me that's her favorite thing in the world, getting Ben Grimmed by idiots.
Yep. Love it. Can't say enough about it.
She's a fan of the
it's just
thing.
like the Bride of Frankenstein podcast.
Did you ever finish it?
Nope.
It hurts my soul.
I think I got halfway through it.
Guess what, Brian?
Yeah.
Guess what? Brian, guess what?
What?
So, my mom said, normally my mom, when she listens to these, she likes to tell me how stupid it is and how dumb we are. Like, you sound like assholes talking about asshole shit. I'm like, thanks, Mom. Well, I went to the doctor with her the other day, and she said, so I listened to a podcast. I'm like, oh, yeah, really? It was our podcast. I'm like, really? And it was the Nicolas Cage match one. And she said, that was actually pretty good.
Christ. Well, I have decided, I mentioned before, maybe last week, that we will do another Nick Cage-centric episode for his birthday.
I'm excited.
It's going to be centered around the Cage's dozen. And I found a way to trap Pete into having to make choices about Nicolas Cage, and I'm very excited about it.
I'm not sure that's going to work.
The three of us are going to, he's going to have to, or else he's just going to get nothing, and that's the worst case scenario. The three of us are going to draft 12 Nicolas Cage movies, our favorite movies. So Pete either gets nothing because he can't make a choice, or he's going to have to draft his favorite Nicolas Cage movies, and we're finally going to get answers.
Yeah, but like, how much time do you want to spend while he goes back and forth as to which one he wants? It's going to be a 4-hour podcast.
I can edit it down, but you got about 6 months to figure it out, Pete.
Here's my problem. What's the point of you guys doing lists? I'll give you the list, and that'll be it. It'll take 4 seconds. I'll read them off. Well, no, he's got like 100-something movies. It might take me more than 4 seconds to read them all, but those will be his top best movies.
No, you're picking 12 movies.
Yeah, I'm going to pick all of them. And then that'll be the first one.
Nope, we're going to have, that's why. The point is we have to have rounds to keep you on track.
Oh, so it's going to be like an actual like fantasy football draft, right?
Yes, yes.
So we'll have to like pick out all the Nicolas Cage movies, all 100 of them, and then we have to...
That's just last year. I want you to know, Pete, even though I've never seen it and have no interest in it, if I get a pick above yours, I'm taking The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Well, if we're going to do it fantasy football rules, it's going to be on the rotation, so you're eventually going to get a pick.
I think he would take it first, so I'd have to pick ahead of him in round 1.
Well, we'll have to like roll a dice to see who gets to pick first. We can't make it arbitrary.
Good luck to you. That is my challenge to you. Good luck to having me pick only 12 movies. I mean, I don't think you guys can do it. So, in fact, that's going to be a challenge for you.
It's going to be a challenge for me to identify 12 Nick Cage. I have 3.
You know what, Kitty? I've had about enough of your back talk.
It's okay, Kitty. A lot of movies identify as Nick Cage movies.
Yeah.
Most of them do.
Most of them do.
Nick Cage is connected, even more so than Kevin Bacon in his 6 Degrees.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon is 6 degrees. Nick Cage is 3 degrees.
And Nick Lachey is 98 degrees.
Holy shit, Pete, you are way funnier with this. We just got to use the phone all the time. That's a good one.
No, I want to go back to Pearl because I was just thinking, do you think Mitzi was really, did she get the part?
No.
No, I don't think she did either.
No.
Mitzi was a nice person.
Yeah. Exactly. I think Mitzi was just a nice person. And
yeah, I love that scene so much. And I told Pete there was a long monologue and he was like not looking forward. And I said, Pete, it's like the second best monologue I've ever seen in a movie after Quint. It's so disturbing. And she's so fucking good in that scene. And there's just no cuts and just, it's incredible.
There's one or two cuts.
There is. They cut back after a long time, yeah.
She's like,
yeah, they do cut back to her eventually, but you get like 7 minutes, like just unfiltered, and she's so good in it.
It was her stream of consciousness as she's going through everything she's done with killing her mom, which the mom wasn't even dead. She just threw her down the stairs and let her die down there.
Or maybe she just lives there.
I think it makes her character so much more interesting that she's completely cognizant of everything she's doing.
Yep.
And it's more like, but this is the life that I'm stuck with. And it's like, this is part of it, which is, it justifies it in her mind in a way that is just scarier than most monsters in movies are.
It did go on too long. He talked for so long.
It was a little long, but it was good.
But then I noticed that there were very few cuts. It was just one long take of her, and I got impressed by it. So I was kind of back into it again. And then I guess I appreciated it.
I said after I saw the movie that I thought she should be nominated for an Oscar, and I don't care that it's horror, because it's more psychological thriller anyway. And how many performances do you see that are better than that one? It's really good.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. You had mentioned it, and you kept talking about it, so I went in instinctually trying to not like it, because I'm contrarian by nature, but she won me over. She really did.
You're contrarian?
No.
I have not noticed that in 70 episodes of this podcast.
I know, because usually I do such a good job covering it up, and I'm such an agreeable person to work with.
Yeah.
And I'm always okay with going wrong with these stupid movies and these dumb little games that aren't Nicolas Cage based.
Yeah, we've never covered a Nicolas Cage movie on this podcast, actually.
No kidding.
There's your Nick Cage news.
Wow. We didn't do Willy's Wonderland yet?
We did not. We didn't do Mandy or Willy's Wonderland or Arcadian.
Oh, you want to do Mandy because it's 2 different movies.
Mandy's a masterpiece.
It's 2 movies in one. Or 3. I'm not sure how many movies it is.
I would like to say I really appreciate, at least in the first movie, that they gave me a very firm time and a date. It said 1979, and they didn't like mess it up like The Crow did. So I give that a solid point.
Pete, I'm sad to report that in A Quiet Place Day 1, it does eventually become Day 2 and 3, and they never alert us.
Oh my
And
gosh.
you said this was a good movie.
Well, you can tell it's different, Dave, because night came in between, but I feel like that's not going to be enough for you. You wanted it to be called A Quiet Place Day 1 through 3?
I think that would be an improvement.
I'm not sure exactly how deep my obsession for perfect timed movies being explained is, but I do know you can't say one thing and then have everybody act like it's a different day. This, I guess I could take Quiet. No, you're right. It's called Quiet Place Day 1. I'm done with that movie.
How much longer are we going to talk about Quiet Place? Like, just like, is this going to be an overarching theme for the remainder of this podcast? Like, in perpetuity, like every episode, we have to reference back to Quiet Place.
I'm going to send Kitty to the Quiet Place for a second so I can finish.
No.
There she goes. And she's back.
Were you quiet? Did the thing get you?
No, I
Did they
got
explain what those aliens are in the Day 1 one?
No.
Day 1 No, that's dumb then.
Okay, we'll go back to Pearl and X.
Okay. Did you see my face? I was like, I don't want to talk about that anymore.
I liked Pearl a lot better than X, and I liked X a lot, but I loved Pearl. Pearl was nominated for Scare Value Best Picture, and it won Best Actress very clearly.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful movie.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful performance.
Yeah.
Crazy shit in that movie. Lighting her mother on fire, fucking that scarecrow. It's
that was weird.
Chasing Mitzi down, just Terminator like chasing Mitzi down with the pitchfork.
That was an axe.
Shocking immediate death of Daniel Cornsweat.
Yeah. she stabbed him with the pitchfork, right?
Yep. Oh yeah, it was an axe. That's right.
Just like she kills the other guy in X.
It's
with the pitchfork through the knothole.
I love it
Good
too.
thing you didn't do it.
When you go back and watch X after seeing Pearl, you see that like she's still got all of the crazy killer instincts in her, but she's also much more frail now, so she's much more easily like just thrown over. It's pretty funny because it was done out of sequence.
Yep, I appreciate too all of the setups for X that they hit. Like she hates blondes. She never liked them. Like as soon as we met Mitzi, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
I know.
The funniest thing is that the mother has some questionable problems, obviously, but she also has a hard life going on. But Mitzi, nice to her. The projectionist, nice to her. Like it's your own craziness that keeps driving these people away.
I think the projectionist was somewhat on the sleazy side, but
I thought so too. But the way his last scene went, I don't think so.
I didn't think so.
Because he came over on the up and up, and it was only after seeing the disturbing things all around the house where he's like, "Yeah, I have to go." And then he was did a pretty good job, kind of, push down the craziness.
Yeah. He tried to keep her calm, and then he's like, "I got to get going."
Yeah, I thought he was polite about it, and he wasn't like attacking her, or humiliating her about these weird things. He was just like, "Okay, I've gotten into something weird here, and I have to end this." And I think he did it in a very up and up kind of straightforward way that I respected. And I don't think he does, he obviously didn't deserve his fate either.
No.
Well, I think he was chasing that farmer's daughter at the beginning. He's showing her the dirty movies.
That's not a creepy thing to like a girl and then try to be with her. Like that's a normal thing.
Yeah, he just
he didn't do anything weird about it. He just invited her up. She came.
She came for a visit.
He put the ball in her court the entire time.
Yeah. I mean, he made his move, but then she's like, I got to get going. And he's like, all right, see ya.
Yeah.
He's bohemian.
He was very laid back about it. I thought he was a cool guy. I thought he was a Superman.
Yeah. No.
No, I got to know on that one.
I don't think he had a name, right? In the credits.
No.
Was he just a projectionist?
He was just a projectionist. Oh, is this a credit check?
No, but I got a new bit. It's called the Crow Call. I've seen a lot of horror movies now, guys. There's a lot of crows in these movies. And the last bunch of movies I've watched, I feel like there was a crow in every single one of them. And you know what there was in X? There's a crow hanging out at the beginning, cawing while they're doing stuff. And you know what's in Pearl? Crows all over that goddamn farm. So I give this one a thumbs up in the old crow check.
Well, of course they'd be there. She ruined the scarecrow.
Yeah, that makes sense. ruined it or invigorated it. Gave it like a recharge.
I don't know if it could get up after that.
He was all spent.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Like,
I never know when Pete's done. I never know what he's doing.
Your face like shut down.
No.
You just went blank, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what he's. I never know what he's up to over there.
I never know what I'm up to either. You guys want to hear my notes on my page?
On what?
On my page, I wrote, I had a Debbie Does Dallas comic. The cows go moo. Feel how hard my cock is. And ugh boo. These were my notes for this movie.
For which one? X
X.
or Pearl?
I didn't have any notes for Pearl. I just have Pro Call at the beginning. But feel how hard my cock is. I'm all about that. It's just like if I want to, like someone doubts my word, I'll feel how hard my cock is. Because that'll be mean like truth.
Well, Pete, in X, you finally had a Jenny Ortega movie.
Who?
The person you misidentify as Jenny Ortega all the time. She was actually in this movie.
Jenny Ortega was in this movie? I like Jenny Ortega. That's good. Who is she?
Who does he mistake?
Everyone.
Oh, okay.
There was a streak where he was thinking movies from 15 years ago. Jenny Ortega's in those movies, even though she's like 20.
She was in the remake of Resident Evil Dead.
No.
Or Evil Dead. Or
No.
House on the Evil Dead Rise.
Nope.
I don't know.
No, you don't know.
You're talking about like 4 different movies, I think.
And he's wrong about every one of them.
She was in Halloween, right?
No.
She was in Halloween Resurrection, right?
No. We can keep going, but this is a rough game for both of you so far.
No. I know that Halloween was made like, what, 30 years? 40?
The
It's
original
about old,
Halloween?
Jenny.
Yeah.
46 years ago.
76
76
years
years
ago.
ago.
46 years
Amy
ago.
looked good
Yeah, she looked good for her age.
Yeah.
for 150.
It was made in 1978. That is like
Okay.
20 years pre-Ortega.
I don't know about that.
But it's funny that you've been looking for Jenna Ortega movies for a year and a half now, and you finally saw one, and we're like, oh, she's in that?
I didn't see her in Pearl. Who was she?
She was the young girl who wanted to be in the movie.
Oh, that was an X. I was trying to figure out who it was.
I said X at the beginning. It's you.
Yeah. He's,
I've confused. Also on my notes, I've written down a bunch of X-Men comics, like X-Men, X-Factor, Excalibur, X-Force, X-Corp, because I was trying to, with the name MaXXXine, I went off on a tangent there. There's a lot of X's and things.
we haven't seen MaXXXine yet. It's
That's why
not
we're doing the
out yet.
podcast, because it's
I
coming
know.
out.
So this is going to, MaXXXine will be a sequel, because she's, Mia, I'm confused now, because Mia Goth plays Pearl and Mia Goth.
Maxine.
Not Jenny Ortega.
Well,
Jenny Ortega died.
I don't know how intentional it was. Some of it obviously is, but the prequel is called Pearl because it's about Pearl.
Mhm.
The third movie is called MaXXXine because it's about Maxine, and X is where they cross over.
Ah. X.
And they talk about the X factor in both movies. Ooh, Kitty's making the X with her hands. X. I get it.
X.
I get it, Kitty.
Excellent.
Maxine's set in the 80s, so it is.
I was wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it would be after the 70s.
The 70s?
Obviously.
And also after 1918.
Go ahead and laugh at
Yes.
about my 76. Maxine's one of the bigger releases of the year because these first two movies were so well received.
Mm.
And again, Pearl was so good.
Yeah. Excellent movie.
I don't know that I would go back and watch either one of these shows. I like it. Excellent. Mr. Burns. Yeah, wiggle those fingers.
You got to tell everyone what everyone's doing with their hands, Pete.
Yeah, like
will.
you have to describe it.
I can't see Kitty's hands. Uh-oh.
This took a turn.
It's below camera angle.
Pete, I really like the quality of your camera.
For those who can't see the cameras, Brian did the jerk off motion, obviously.
Is it called the jerk off motion when you're actually doing it?
Well, yeah, you're still doing the motion.
You can't see under the table.
I don't know. I have emotions about this. They're not good.
Do you need to see? Do you have trouble finding it? I'm usually pretty good.
It's called a micro penis.
That No wonder the sound's so bad. That's what I keep talking into.
So, Pete, you weren't impressed by Pearl enough?
I think he didn't like it because we liked it.
Yeah, that's usually how this goes.
Yeah.
I really had. I did not like X the first time. In fact, I remembered nothing about it. Kitty went through the list. He was like, "Do you remember the alligator?" And I said, "Who? Remember the old people?" And I said, "What?" He said, "What about the old lady getting her head run over by a car?" And I was like, "Rings a bell, kinda." So then I watched it again. I'm like, "All right, it was all right." I like the humor. I guess I missed the first time. Like their truck said plowing service on the side. That made me laugh. Kid Cudi was there.
Yes.
I did not know that. He has a real first name that they told me in the credits, but I forgot it. So he's just Kid Cudi now. But he has an actual human name. What else? At the ending, when the sheriff is there and they find the video camera, and the one guy, the cop's like, "What do you think's on this?"
One fucked up horror movie. Yeah.
That was a pretty solid final line to a movie.
Yep. Did you also notice that that's a dumb question. You didn't. But Kitty, did you notice or remember how X opens with that great shot of how it looks like it's in old school, like, smaller picture, but it's really just coming through the thing. They did that again in Pearl, but they did it the other way.
Like the larger picture.
And then they go back into the...
Yeah. No, yeah. I don't remember that from X, but I did like the intro, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is the farmhouse, the original farmhouse from X." And Pete's like, "Is it?" And I'm like, I didn't watch X in a while, and I'm like, but I remember visually all these like cues and hints about what was going to start happening or what was to come. So,
yeah, I enjoyed Pearl killing that duck, just walking it over to her alligator.
That was Mr. Goose.
Oh, the goose, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know gooses from ducks.
Because she was like, "What are you doing in here, Mr. Goose?"
I was really bad at Duck, Duck, Goose for those reasons.
I was going to say, that must have been really sad at the playground when you were a kid. Running there in circles, touching everyone's heads.
Playgrounds are always sad.
What are you talking about? Playgrounds are awesome.
You got concussed at a playground.
He's gotten concussed in a lot of places. He got concussed in our backyard.
But he got concussed the day before the SATs, and it went up. He went up 100 points from his PSATs.
Yeah.
He did better with the concussion.
That's why all through college I'd hit my head before every exam.
How'd that work out for you?
I don't know. Pretty good. I'm a doctor now.
Oh, no. He hit his head too hard.
I performed surgeries on Mr. Goose. "Hello, Mr. Goose. I can fix you." That's what I say when I find things on the road that have been hit by cars.
Oh, okay. Because the goose definitely got eaten by the alligator.
Yes, it was that alligator's
and some
cool.
Bad CGI of that alligator.
I like it, though.
I didn't like it.
Alligator's cool.
It was cool. It was a cool idea, but it was like misplaced that they like did that weird CGI moment where the alligator jumps out and grabs the goose.
Oh, okay. In Pearl, not X.
In Pearl, yeah.
It was so big and CGI'd in X, I kind of took it because it was the grainy 70s film. I think it fit in better. And I appreciate, too, all the practical effects. The bodies and the cutting, the severing of limbs in both movies. I thought that was pretty cool. The burned up mom. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty horrific.
Pete, if you came home from the war that they sent you to, and Kitty had her parents murdered at the dinner table, and then she was just smiling at you for 6 minutes straight, would you still be married to her 60 years later?
Did I clean up the mess?
Yeah, I think you would have to.
I mean, I think that would be up to you. I mean, he'd probably be dead, right? She would have killed him if he had tried to get away.
Oh, absolutely, for sure.
So
I would have not been in the war, Brian. That is my answer. I would have been home the whole time. They would have never picked me to go fight someone. They looked at me and said, "Pass."
Her husband did volunteer. He signed up for the war.
Yeah, I've been turned down for volunteering before. I tried to give blood multiple times, and they look at me and go, "No, thank you." I've tried to donate. No, that's what. That was pretty much it. That's the only time I've ever tried to do anything nice. And
I remember that was high school, wasn't it?
High school and then in college.
But I think in high school we were just trying to get out of class.
No, I was going to give blood, but then they rejected me like at 8 a.m, so I just hung out there all day.
That's what it was. I remember
You're
that.
like, "I'm dizzy. I need a juice box," from not giving blood.
Then I got yelled at the end by one of the people who worked there. It's like, at least he could help us move boxes. He's been sitting here all day. I was like, hey, fuck you, pal. It's 3 o'clock. I got a bus to catch.
You're looked down upon by strangers.
Yeah? What's your point?
Oh, crotch shot.
And there goes the hand beneath the camera again. Well done, Kitty. I appreciate that your hands are up above the camera line, making sure everyone knows that you're not interested.
What are you guys doing? I'm just hammering together this thing under here.
You're building something.
Yeah. Who was it? I like Brittany Snow.
Yeah.
A lot
Pitch
in the
Perfect.
first one.
Yes.
Yeah. I liked her in Pitch Perfect.
Now,
Pitch Perfect 2.
were you okay when the boobs came out?
Yeah, because you know what? There weren't surprise boobs. Like in the first
they were
one,
doing a porno scene.
Yes, it was fully expected.
I expected to see these.
I had plenty of warning. I did not expect to see old lady boobs, but
Yeah.
I'm not saying no. That was kind of. I wanted to see. I guess I was waiting to see Jenny Ortega's boobs because she was the only one who did not show anything. I think everyone else in that movie showed something, and she did not. But I didn't know she was Jenny Ortega. I'm just going to call her.
Did you do the hand under the?
No, I itched my foot.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to lie. We already watched everything. Oh, I mentioned my foot too.
Well, you guys were talking about boobs and naked, and so I was like, well, I guess. Yeah,
my foot's real itchy, and now I need a towel.
That's
Ew.
what happened. But yeah, I liked Brittany Snow. That was my point. So I was sad when she died, and I thought that Mitzi was Brittany Snow. And I'm like, did they just bring everyone back and put them in different roles? But I don't think that's what happened.
Are you blind? I've been meaning to ask this over the course of the podcast.
I have what I believe are very severe short-term memory issues
And face blindness.
And face
blindness. Like I have the 3 of us on the camera right now, and I'm not sure who is who.
Makes me feel good. I'm the one without a beard, if that helps.
Pete has 2 beards. The one on his face and the one in the middle picture. I'm saying that you're a homosexual.
Oh, I see.
I had to explain it all the way for him. Kitty's your beard. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I thought you were my beard, and we were keeping it secret from Kitty. So
to be fair, you're in the middle on my screen, Brian.
Oh,
so I was like, oh, well, all right.
That joke has levels.
Yeah.
I'm bottom bunking it on my screen.
It was in the middle.
Pickle.
There's nobody in the middle. I'm kind of actually sitting right next to Brian. He's like, it looks like he's talking into my ear because I'm talking. Whisper to me. Other way. Other direction. Ooh. Ooh.
He's trying to poke Pete in the ear from
it felt good.
Another house. So
I don't know how technology works.
yeah, we have to. If we do a live show, then all these jokes will land for our listeners.
Oh, these are jokes?
Oh.
No, I think this whole podcast is a joke.
Yeah.
It's a very elaborate one being played on anyone who unfortunately listens.
I don't know. Last week you could have gotten upwards of 80 movies that sound like poops. It sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
Yeah. Why do you think? Well, why did she crush the alligator egg?
I don't know.
She was horny.
To get to the other side. What are we doing?
We're in Pearl. Like, why did she do? Like, she took one and brought it home, and like put it up in the rafters of the barn for an unknown. I don't know why.
Put it in a bird's nest. That's where eggs hatch.
Well, but I don't know why she took it. Was that going to be like the new alligator? I can't remember what she called the alligator. She gave it a name.
I don't either.
But
Mr. Chompy.
Yeah, Chompy. I don't know why she then destroyed the egg. I had a feeling. I think she kind of hoped her husband would die in the war, so she could move on a little easier with her life.
Yeah.
Because then when she crushed the egg, she kept imagining him walking home.
Yeah.
And he exploded like a bomb.
Yes.
So that part confused me.
I fell asleep. You had to tell me about that part. The last thing I remember was her putting that egg in a bird nest, and I'm like, oh, that's a weird way, but that's how you do it, from my understanding of egg raising.
I thought it was just some hay that she put it in.
I was asleep. I dreamed all of it. Kitty, there were a lot of things about these movies I didn't understand. All these weird, like, why why do they would like in the first one they'd have like a sex scene and then they cut to Mia Goth floating naked in the lake like Jesus and then cut back. There are all these cuts. There was these eggs and then looking at her husband and Pearl and squeezing an egg till it blows up. There were all these. I feel like they were trying to make me think of something and draw analogies and parallels and metaphors. Instead, I just sat there going, "All right,
Pete, I want you to rank analogies, metaphors, and parallels by which ones bother you the most when they attempt to do them."
um, it's obviously parallels because I do not care for gymnastics.
Yeah, sure. Makes
Um,
sense.
what were the other two? Metaphors.
Analogy and metaphor.
I guess metaphors would be the next worst because I've never figured out their purpose.
What's a metaphor? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I've never figured it out.
Mhm.
And then my favorite is obviously going to be analog because I don't like digital.
There you go. That's how I would have guessed you were going to rank them. And what's worse, for exactly those reasons.
It's good to be predictable.
Yeah.
That way people know what you think.
Oh, Pearl trivia. The alligator is named Theta after a silent film actress and sex symbol Theta Bara. So it's someone she's seen at the pictures.
Oh, with the picture shows?
The picture shows that she went to.
Were they talkies back then? I don't know.
I don't know.
I wasn't paying
No, I don't think so.
Uh,
No, I don't think so. She's doing her monkey shines at the picture show.
Monkey Shines was a movie that had
It
that
was.
symbol monkey. Didn't
It was. George Romero directed it.
He did the zombie movies.
Yes.
Monkey Shines is a movie?
Yep.
Could be a poop. Okay. But
So, Pearl better than X, we all agree, or just the two of us, and then Pete's like, I can't rank things. I don't like movies.
I don't know. I think I liked Pearl for Mia Goth's performance. She was just fantastic. She could carry that movie. I think I like Jesus Christ. You know what? I'm never watching either of these movies again. So let's put it there. I've seen them. I'm good.
Okay.
boo.
That's what I wrote down on my paper. Boo.
Yeah. But do you you really don't like the movie? It's not just a matter of you not liking it because we like it.
No, I think it was all right. It's just not something I'm going to go running to. I will say I'm going to fall back on her performance was great. I think the movies were all right, but I don't need to go see them again. I've seen them. They were fun. I didn't walk away going, I'm bored. I did not enjoy this movie like I did with Megan. I liked it.
I think we rarely see character horror the way Pearl was. I think it's kind of a unique movie because all of its horror is centered around the performance in the middle of it, and it's just a pure character study. And that's not the route that horror movies usually go.
No.
Usually spending time with victims, and then this was like you see them because they're in her worldview, but nobody else matters. It's all Pearl and what's in her head and what's in her fucked up mind.
Well, I'm trying to think. What was that stalker movie? Not the stalker, the slasher movie where you're from the slasher's point of view. It came out relatively recently.
In a Violent Nature.
Yeah, In a Violent Nature. Now, since you brought that up, seeing it from the killer's point of view,
I believe you just brought that up.
Well, somebody brought it up.
That's a poop name.
One of these three faces just brought it up. I'm not sure which one it was.
Well, you face blindness, you don't even know which one it would be in the first place.
Oh, that's right. But since one of us mentioned it, I'm trying to figure out other movies that had the killer point of view because you're right, it was all from Pearl, and she's clearly the bad guy.
Yeah.
And other than In a Violent Nature,
to me, it deepens X so much because when you think of the Pearl character old, it's like a much better character than just like, oh, there's this creepy old woman on the farm. It's like knowing her backstory. It's like there is tragedy all around her, and most of it's by her own hand.
Yeah, and you can still see that she's really self-absorbed, and she wants to make the entire. There's elements where she wants to make the film about herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Here's the other question I have about Pearl, because I'm terrible at this. Like, you'll see art in movies, and Kitty knows art. I don't know shit about art. I kind of know what I like, and I kind of know what I don't like, but especially with paintings, I just don't know what's good. So sometimes you'll see something, and it's like making fun of art. Like, see, this is real art. And I'll be like, it looks the same to me as other art. I have face blindness for paintings.
Okay.
And I have it for performances too. Is Pearl good when she's dancing up on stage?
I think she was fine, but she wasn't.
I can't tell. if it was meant to be like, yeah, she was really great, she just didn't get it because they wanted a different type of person, or if she was just like, eh.
Well, I think they said they would take her, but they were looking for someone blonde and someone with the it factor.
Sure.
So I think she was fine, and they would have taken her, but she just didn't have the look they wanted.
What I mean is, she could have been terrible up there. I wouldn't know the difference.
Oh.
I'm bad. That's how bad I am at judging
Talent?
things like, yeah, I can do acting. I can't figure out who's good at dancing. I don't know what your test steps are supposed to be. I don't know what routine you're doing.
I don't really know dancing, so can't comment too much.
I sat there and I said, I've seen this before, and it was called Black Swan. I didn't like it then either.
You didn't. You've told me that.
It's very confusing that he doesn't like that movie.
I know. I watched a movie that's about painters, and the whole thing was like, there's these masterpieces that the younger sister can paint, and the older sister, who's become the real famous painter, is kind of bad at it. And I'm looking at all the paintings, and I'm like, these look the exact same to me. I don't know what people are talking about.
Brian, I believe that's because there is no difference. I believe art is art, and some people say this is famous now, and then I guess it is. But I don't believe there's a difference in the quality of any art. I think it's all the same.
What do you think, Kitty, since you actually went to school for this?
I mean, art is art. Like, there is...
Aha! I win.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's things that are just garbage, though. It's
but you can start any point with that. Laptop is laptop.
Laptop is laptop.
Lamp is lamp.
Lamp is lamp.
I
That's
love
fair.
lamp.
No, I think, there's definitely, like, it when you see it. Well, maybe you guys don't, but, like...
I believe that's pornography.
I know art when I see it. It's got colors and shapes.
I know him, too. He's standing next to Paul Simon with his red hair.
I was working on a Garfunkel joke, but I couldn't get there. Nice one.
I think I was trying to work my way towards an Art Bell joke, but...
Ooh, Art Bell's another good one. He's the guy who did Coast to Coast or Space Ghost Coast to Coast, but the original one where callers would call in and say, hey, I went to lunch with an alien yesterday. And he'd be like, oh, did you now? It was good AM radio stuff.
Yeah. No, going back to art, like, there's stuff that's hanging in the Albright Knox that I would, like, just throw in the trash. So I'm like, all right, well.
Take that, Andy Warhol.
This is fine for what it is, but there's, like...
It's a soup can.
Yeah, it's a soup can. Roy Lichtenstein, I just put his stuff in the garbage. Well,
wait,
because of how he made it, not because of...
I was going to ask if she listened to our Bride of Lichtenstein podcast.
No. I listened to half of it.
Bride of Lichtenstein.
Bride of Lichtenstein.
Yeah, I've been to the Albright Knox Art Gallery for school when they made you go. That was the last time I was there.
Look at you uncultured swine. What is wrong with you?
I accept it. It's part of my identity. I don't get it. And it's not for me.
Don't get art.
Yeah, it's very expensive now.
Oh, it is?
Art is what? Mm-hmm. Well, they rebuilt it and made it all fancy. I
heard that.
One time.
And there was one thing they had a couple years ago that I thought about actually going to because it was whatever they were doing. Maybe it was a Bills thing or something. They do a Bills thing.
They've got a Bills room. Oh yeah. The last time I was there, they have a whole like Ralph Wilson wing where they've got just shit from Ralph Wilson Jr. like old jerseys and footballs and I don't know if you like football.
That was the one time where I thought, yeah, I'd like to go see that. And then like I think 2 seconds later, I was like, the fuck are you talking about? You're not going to the Albright Knox Art Gallery.
Yeah. I mean, it's really cool now, but at the same time, I'm like, you're charging like quite a bit of money, like to the point where my mom, they had like she has a membership. We went for my birthday last year, I think, with me, Fred, and the moms. And my mom's like, okay, I've got a membership. We got 1 free ticket. We got the old people discount for parking and the discount for being a member for parking. And it was still like more money than it should have been to go to the museum, especially since the walls were still empty in places. And that just pissed me off. I'm like, you either fill it and charge what you want to charge, or you charge half because you haven't filled the whole museum yet.
Maybe they are charging half and it's going to be twice as expensive.
Oh, God.
My understanding is if there are blank spots at an art gallery, you're welcome to hang up your own things.
My understanding is that those blank walls are also art.
Uh-oh.
And we should go and we should do the Ferris Bueller thing, the 3 of us, except we'll do it staring at the blank wall as if we're really looking at this piece of art.
Who
Did
gets the
you see
trench
that
coat?
thing where someone put a pair of eyeglasses on the floor and people were taking pictures?
We all wear the trench coats. Everybody gets a trench coat.
We're going to all put on the trench coat.
How else will they know we're Ferris Buellering?
Yeah.
We're going to sit on each other's shoulders and pretend we're one person trying to buy a ticket for an R-rated movie.
And then we're going to recklessly drive home.
Still sitting on each other's shoulders.
Well, that's why it's so reckless.
I would imagine.
Gonna need a sunroof. So Pete's come down to Pearl is better because the performance. That's good.
But I think I had more fun watching X.
X is made to be a more fun slasher type movie, but I think Pearl is, I don't know, I think it borders on great, which is...
Mm-hmm. I think it's a great movie. I think visually it's gorgeous.
Yeah, I do too.
And I normally don't like that style of movie, but I think Ty West, is he the director?
Yes. I'm very impressed, Pete.
Mm-hmm. It said it really big at the beginning, though, so he probably sat in his head.
He's one of Kanye's kids, right? Him in North?
I think he's a piece of clothing that Kanye West owns.
Okay. Well, I like his brother Loper.
I like the idea now that Kanye West gives his clothing his last name. Come on, Shirt West. Let me get Ty West and let's get going. You know what? It's believable to me.
I know. I was going to say what's sad is that I think it could be something that he's doing right now.
Yeah.
So we're going to get like a lawsuit, a cease and desist order.
I think it is something that he's doing right now. It only makes sense that he is.
Your hair is super distracting, Pete.
Duckadoo me.
Oh, now you look like the serial killer.
Oh, I hurt my neck. My flowing locks of hair to the side. Oh, my neck.
It's just been sticking straight up, like, since we started.
I have 3 follow-up questions about your neck.
I've got a good guess what they are.
Okay, would you like to guess what the first question is?
How's my back?
That's good. That's good. I have 2 more questions about your neck and your back. No, I can already see because when you leaned back, the crotch cam came back. I can see how your pussy is. So
it's wet. It's very wet. I spilled water on myself. You know, like looking at my pale belly. It looks like a one-eyed walrus, albino, trying to crawl out of my pants. No, nothing.
Anyway.
You know who's in MaXXXine? 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon himself.
Jenny Garth.
No, that'd be fun though.
Kevin Bacon's in one of these movies?
MaXXXine.
Oh, in the new one. All right.
No, he solved
the one that I haven't seen yet.
The one you'll never see if I'm going to guess correctly.
Yeah.
I was sitting there thinking that he was the alligator.
No, but you can trace the alligator from X to Kevin Bacon in just one step once MaXXXine comes out because Mia Goth's in both.
You know what? I think that Nicolas Cage can do it in 0 steps. I don't know how, but I think he can do it. Don't think about it now. Just accept what I'm saying is true.
Do you have Nick Cage news, Pete?
Brian, I always have.
You've given up on life. You're like, all right. I thought we had talked about it enough.
Pete hasn't.
Did you guys know that he outbid Leonardo DiCaprio for a dinosaur skull once?
Yes, you've brought that up before.
That's a knick-knack fact I've used. Let's see here. Oh, it's on the back of this page. Okay, here we go. This is a knick-knack fact. Jim Carrey offered him a role on Dumb and Dumber once because they were good friends back in the day. He turned it down. You know what he turned it down for?
Was this 1994?
Face Off.
I'm going to say he turned it down for Leaving Las Vegas.
He did. And that's such a bad choice. Can you imagine Nicolas Cage in Dumb and Dumber? I don't even know who he would have played, but it would have been great. Instead, he did whatever.
He would have played the cop that drinks the piss bottle.
Harlan Willis or Williams or Harlan Williams. I think that's who that was.
I think that's
correct.
correct.
A comedian from the 90s.
I think that's correct.
Pull over. No, it's a cardigan, but thanks for noticing. That could have been Nicolas Cage.
That's knowledge.
That's knowledge. Just think how different his film career could have been if he had starred in Dumb and Dumber.
Instead of Academy Award winning Best Actor.
I also heard he didn't get paid for that movie, the Leaving Las Vegas one.
Wow.
Oh, and you're that.
What do you think he said when he found out he wasn't getting paid, Pete?
Whoa.
It's so good. Kitty, do you want to give us some Frank Welker?
I don't remember. What is it? Oh. Hold on. Gizmo.
Damn, it's like he's in the room with you, which is crazy because she's not even in the room with us.
I think Kitty wins. I like your
I think so too.
There's...
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
What else? What else? You guys want my credit checks?
Yeah, fine. Do your credit checks.
I asked for your credit check 30 minutes ago.
Well, let me check your credit. Kitty? Pretty good. You're like a 700. Brian? Pretty sad.
My credit score is incredible.
Because you don't have any debt and you don't own anything.
Because I paid off all my debt. I own plenty of things. I paid it all off. But I paid my car off early, and they were like, we have to drop your credit score because we don't like that. And I'm like, well, it sucks to be you and me.
Yeah, like...
Though they hate when you pay off your debt early. And I'm like, that seems...
I know, they
seems
do.
weird to me, but all right.
It's... Oh, no, it's there to hurt us.
Yeah.
It's not there to help anything.
Well, the joke's on them. I don't have a credit score.
Speaking of not there to help anything, Pete, you got something else?
Yeah, I do. I have so much stuff.
You just started giggling.
Here we go, guys, for the credit check for the movie X. First off, there was somebody who was I got to say, for both movies, no animals were harmed.
Oh.
So even though she looked like she killed Mr. Goose, she didn't do it for real. So that was just special effects. And that alligator, okay. A-okay. Just to get that out of the way. So on X, we had a contact lens painter.
Is that art?
And my favorite is, I guess
I don't know. I'm going to look it up because in my head, I immediately started thinking like they painted contact lenses that people wear in their eyes. But then I'm like, oh, okay, there might have been a film. It might have been the film trick that made all the colors so saturated.
Nope.
So I'm not.
I'm going to look at it.
Go ahead. Tell us more.
Also, he had like 3 screens of special thanks to people. And in X, he had the 2 that jumped out to me were Karen Gillan and Eli Roth. I don't know why they got special thanks.
So you didn't do any backup research on this?
Look, I figured it out. It's you guys to figure out why. I discovered the phenomenon. I don't know why it happened. I'm just telling you it did. But they got special thanks. And this movie was full of tech bros. Like tech bros falling out. We had a Ronin tech, a Scorpio tech, and a Pyro tech.
A biotech?
I don't know. Pyro.
No, do we have a biotech though?
No, there was no biotech. I might have gotten distracted by the long list of people who got special thanks, but, who knows. So, moving on, we have got the next credit check for the movie Pearl. In this one, let me see here. Oh, no animals were harmed. They did not have a pyrotech in this one, but they had a burn master.
Ooh,
I don't know
jealous?
Upgrade? A little bit.
Is that the job you
And
wanted?
This is in Pearl, or?
Yeah, Pearl had a burn master and X had a pyrotech. Then in Pearl, they had a certified skipper, which jumped out to me because you know what they had in the first movie?
An uncertified skipper? Yeah.
Yes, they just had skipper. And so I don't know what went wrong on the set of X that required them to get a certified skipper.
No, hold on a second. X came first, not chronologically, but in release. So maybe he just got his certification.
The certified skipper?
In the months that inter between.
Oh,
what is that?
You know what? That's a certified skipper?
Yeah.
I assume somebody who's really good at hopscotch and has turned that into some sort of career.
I was going to go with
the
the Gilligan's
Island. I thought it
Island.
was like stone skipping.
Ooh, Gilligan's Island. Could be a stone skipper? I don't know. But that is the change. And again, there were 4 pages of special thank yous. Everybody I think who was in the first movie, Brittany Snow and Jenny Ortega and all of them, including Kid Cudi, but I don't remember the other people's names, but they were now included in the list. But weirdly, Karen Gillan was dropped, but Eli Roth was still there. So I don't know what beef happened with Karen Gillan, who I like, but apparently her and Ty West
They had a falling out.
They had a falling out of some kind. Because, guys, this special thanks were a long time of the credits. That's like most of the credits. So he was thanking everybody. I don't know how she got excluded. Excluded? That's
good job, honey. Nice.
All right. There's more.
I think that was my credit check.
Okay, good.
Nope, that was it. Those are all my credit checks.
So we have mysteries to solve. Why did Karen Gillan get Thanks on X and not Pearl? And why did Eli Roth get it in both?
The mystery is what beef happened. Because clearly they have a fight. We know that already. We can take that as a given. Now we just have to figure out why they're fighting.
So this is an early 80s Wendy's situation. Where's the beef?
Where's the beef? Yes.
You guys are making me sad.
That's our job here.
I know.
You're Jamaican.
I say it at least every podcast that I'm on. I'm like, you make me sad.
You say that every day to me.
I was going to say, I don't think that's reserved for the podcast.
No, it's not.
We all have our bits. Pete has the credit check. Pete has the Nicolas Cage update. You have the We Depress You.
Don't forget Crow Call.
And Crow Call. Yeah, that's a new one, I guess. All right, we've covered all of our bits. Pete's given us the Crow Call and the credit check and the Nick Cage news. Kitty has told us we're disappointing to her.
What's your bit?
What do you bring to the proceedings?
Yeah.
I keep this train on track.
Do you?
For at least 2 minutes. 2 minutes of podcast. I bring it back around sometimes.
The Tron to Busan, you keep that on track? It's full of zombies, Fast zombies, like those 28 Days Later ones. Not those slow zombies like I Am Sam.
That's a slow zombie. I get it. I get you.
Okay.
I see where you're going. Kitty, did you listen to the top 10 horror movies of the 21st century episode?
Yes.
How many of those movies have you seen, or did you have movies that we talked about that you hated or liked?
I honestly don't remember the top 10.
All right.
I don't know. Because usually I'm listening while I'm working, so I think it kind of faded. But I'm pretty sure Ken had Quiet Place on there, and
he did.
That's a horrible choice.
And then, when we did A Quiet Place, he said, "I think I had it in my honorable mentions." He had it number 3.
Yeah. So no, questionable judgment on his end.
What? Number 3.
Yeah. So that didn't belong anywhere in that podcast because it's awful. It's stupid. It's a dumb concept.
This is a Pete impression you're giving us here.
And then
I was doing a Kitty impression during that last podcast because I never formed an opinion about A Quiet Place or A Quiet Place 2. Kitty watched the first half hour with me, and then that's all I could think about for the rest of the movies.
That's on you, really, though. Too lazy to form an opinion.
I would like to point out that we got scolded and then stared at for bringing up A Quiet Place, and she didn't want to talk about A Quiet Place anymore, and immediately brought back up A Quiet Place.
Well, no, because you asked if there was any opinions I had on the top 10, so I had to bring that up because Ken had it on there, so we can move on now. But I can't remember. I feel like there was another one that, there were a couple I really agreed with that I thought were great.
A Noisy Place.
Don't remember his 10 exactly.
One of yours, I was like, yes, absolutely, 100%, but I can't remember
Army of Darkness.
Which one it was.
A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night?
No, it's one that we've both seen, and I was like, yeah.
The Hudsucker Proxy.
That belongs in the top 10.
That's a great movie.
Billy Madison.
Stop it. It's a good movie, but it's not a horror movie.
The Hudsucker Proxy? It's a total horror movie. Plexiglass. Had it installed last week. There's suicide in that movie. There's corporate espionage in that movie.
For kids.
Bruce Campbell is in that movie.
He is. He's starring role. I was so excited when he popped up.
Okay. That's my bit. My bit is to go, okay.
Yeah, sorry. I can't. I can't. There was definitely one of your top 10 that I 100% agreed with. It's a movie we both like, and I think Pete doesn't like it out of spite.
Well, that could be any of the 10.
Exactly.
Except for Godzilla -1, which he does like.
That's solid.
I had It Follows. I had
Never seen it.
Train to Busan. I had Godzilla -1. I had You're Next. I had...
Oh, I think... did you have...
Pancakes for breakfast?
What is the one that I really like? That actually, Pete likes that one too. I can't
Princess
remember
Bride.
the name of it. We covered it on the
Princess
podcast.
Bride? I don't remember doing that one.
With the giant weird alien and the horses.
The giant weird alien and the horses. Yeah, it sounds like the Princess Bride. There was Andre the Giant and there were some horses.
Oh, Nope.
Nope.
It wasn't in my
Nope
top 10.
On there?
No.
It wasn't?
Get Out
okay.
was.
Oh, okay. Well, Nope should have been in your top 10.
Nope was in Pete's top 10 because he had one that was just Jordan Peele.
It was pretty good.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. Jordan Peele's good. Yeah.
Pete's top 10 list was at least 30 movies long.
Yeah, he just started naming movies.
One of them was 3
I
movies he'd
remember.
never seen before.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
It's still better than he has been doing.
Yeah.
All right.
He keeps flashing his crotch at us.
Yep.
That's proud.
All right.
I did a list.
All right. Anybody have anything else to say on X and Pearl?
Well,
Pete, seriously, cut it out.
I watched the shit out of those movies.
Pearl's an excellent movie. X is a good movie. I really enjoyed both movies. I'm going to watch more Ty West stuff because I think he's brilliant.
Big recommendation to The House of the Devil movie that was in my top 10, and Pete has not seen it.
Ty West? Is that a West?
What?
House of the Devil.
Yes.
House of the Devil.
Yes.
Okay. What else has he made? I thought these were his only movies.
No, he made The House of the Devil. He made The Innkeepers. He made.
I heard of that one.
He was also an actor. He's the first guy to die in You're Next. He's the boyfriend of the sister who is the first one. He gets an arrow through his head immediately.
I don't even remember You're Next.
I know.
Oh yeah, I do. I forgot the people. I gotta watch that. That's the one with
Wasn't
Barbara
that on
Tran.
his top 10?
Yeah.
On Pete's top 10?
No.
Or top 40?
Pete, any thoughts on Pearl and X?
They were all right. I can see why a lot of people like them, but I don't need to see them again.
Will you watch MaXXXine someday?
I will watch it someday. I think, and it's solely on Mia Goth.
Yeah.
She was so good in Pearl that I'm intrigued enough that I need to go watch the third movie. Well, I don't need to go watch it, but I will watch it out of curiosity. What more is there to tell?
Well,
I guess we'll find out.
Completely different story set in a different decade, not about Pearl.
Yeah, not about Pearl.
Does it have to be about MaXXXine? I want to see her play somebody else.
Look, I would like a follow-up movie
Yes, I'd like that more too.
to Pearl, explaining what her husband decides to do and what happens from there. There's a lot more. I mean, we know it's a foregone conclusion, but how did that come about? That's all.
If you think now that
is it because he's traumatized by the horrors?
I think he's
of the
afraid
war?
to leave.
I would assume yes. That was my thought. I think he was a nerd to the violence because war.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I think he was afraid to leave because look at her smiling at you. I was trying to do a credit check, which is like the only important thing I have to do.
It's really hard to do because
I kept she's like, fucking stop, you creep! Like stop looking
That
at me.
choice to have her smiling through the credits is so great. It follows that
Fucking amazing.
It follows that long monologue, and then it's like, remember that one take we did? We got a crazier one.
Yeah.
Let's do this now.
Boy, howdy, was it crazy.
And you can see her face, because she literally sat there and they filmed it, her doing that for the entire time the credits took. It was crazy because you could see her twitching a little bit, trying to hold the smile.
Mia Goth was credited as co-writer on Pearl. She's not on X or MaXXXine, which really I think is why probably Pearl works so well as a character study, because she's completely in the head of that character.
She's immersed in it, yeah.
And I'm going to guess she wrote that monologue because it's so perfectly in tune with that character that I think it comes from a place of somebody who's been living with this character and was like, I know what we have to say, and then just turn the camera on and I'll do it. And it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, she might not have even needed a script for that. She just maybe she didn't even write it. She just said it.
Yeah.
Well, I got to disagree strongly. As much as I enjoyed her face, it didn't need to be over the credits because it distracted from quite possibly the most important part of any movie and all the hard work all these people did.
What's funny is that as she's staring through the credits at you, you're staring through her at the credits.
I'm trying so
your
hard.
face is up at the TV just staring back
And then I started making the crazy eyes at her, and it was hard to look at the words. It doesn't get better when you pause it either. I had to pause to watch the words, and I'm looking at her just frozen mid craze. It was rough. That was my roughest. This is my roughest credit check ever, but I persevered and I've completed it, and I've brought you all the news that's fit to talk about on a podcast.
All right, everybody, come back next week because we're going to have something different on the podcast. Instead of our usual horror movies, we're going to take a 1 week break, and we're going to talk about 2 Japanese sci-fi comedies that I really enjoy, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Pete thinks of them.
I am intrigued and I'm excited because everything you said about these movies make them seem interesting to me. So this is a week I'm in.
I saw the movie River at a film festival, and it blew me away. And then I found out that this director and writer had another movie called Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes, and I'm excited to see what people think of them. And it's going to be a little different because we usually cover horror, but it'll be good. And we're going to go because I just heard the mailman outside, and I think there's a package for me.
Ooh, I got a package.
I'll see you guys on the flippity flop. Nope, not ending it there. I'll see you guys next week.
On the flippity flop.
Be there or be somewhere else.